Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It is Thursday morning. As always, a coffee kind of morning. Hope everyone's doing well. Gonna wrap up my Deep Purple series today. Having a blast doing this, reviewing my favorite band ever. And today I'm going to attempt to rank their 21 studio albums. Now, I did not include their latest because it's a compilation album. I love it, but I didn't include it in the ranking, and I did not include any live albums in the ranking. Now, I'm missing a couple of albums, but I have listened to them, so don't chastise me for that. I will show you pictures of them. And first off, I love every album that they put out. This is not a worst to best because I feel they didn't put out any worst albums. This is my least favorite to favorite album. And the last two, I wish I could do a tie, but I can't. So let's get started. It's a list of 21 albums, and I'm just going to briefly explain some of them because I've done the majority of all that explanations on these albums in my previous 5 videos on this band. So I'm just going to do a little brief history on them and then go from there just to save time. So right off the bat, the album that I don't have in my collection, I do have a burnt copy of it that I listen to regularly. It is Bananas. Here it is up top here. It's their 2003 release, their 17th studio album. Decent album, a really, really good album. It's weird, it's a little different. John Lord is retired, replaced with the amazing Don Airey, who brought some light to the band. But there's no highlights or nothing that stands out in this album. And the album cover's not the greatest album either. I'm not reviewing the album covers, obviously, but it's a decent album. It's a decent album, but it ranks to me at number 21 in this one. At number 20, from this little box set, this little cool box set here, The Battle Rages On. At number 20. The 14th studio album, 1993 release. That's what the CD looks like there. Ian Gillan's back, but as the title suggests, there's still tension in the band. Always tension between Ritchie Blackmore and Ian Gillan. The title track's great. The Battle Rages On. You've got Talk About Love, Time to Kill, another great track. Remarkable Man, sorry. And what's this? One Man's Meat. It's hard to read that little, but not a bad album. Not a bad album at all. Again, my least favorite, or my second least favorite, number 20. At number 19, you've got Slaves and Masters. Okay, this one, depending on the day, could be the least favorite. It could be ranked higher. Jolene Turner does a great job on the album. Great singer, but it's a lot like a Rainbow album to me. Doesn't sound like Deep Purple, but it's not a bad thing either. Again, he does a good job. It's just my third least favorite album, Slaves and Masters. At number 18, Deep Purple 3. Great experimental album. The band's not sure of themselves. They don't know what direction they're going to take. Rod Evans is still stuck in the 60s. The band wants to work on a larger sound. A lot of experimental, psychedelic stuff going on. And I really like it, though. There's some cool tracks on this one. But it kind of, there's no direction on this one. And this one will also be the last of the Mark I version of the band. But still, overall, a good album. But I ranked this at number 18 on my list. At number 17, Raptures of the Deep. Not a bad album at all. I really like this album. Again, it's hard to put these in categories. It really is. But you've got great tracks like Money Talks, clearly quite absurd. Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye. It could have been the production of Michael Bradford, I'm not sure. As it's just a cool thing, but nothing outstanding. Again, you got Junkyard Blues, Before Time Began, Wrong Man. Decent album. Raptures of the Deep, again at number 17. At number 16, I don't have the album, but again, I'd have a burnt copy of it. Abandon, 16th studio album, and ranked at number 16. How ironic is that? Some standout tracks in this one. Any Fool No Dat, Seventh Heaven, Fingers to the Bone, Evil Louie, cool tracks. Really cool stuff. But kind of in the middle of the pack, almost to the middle of the pack, at number 16. At number 15, their first studio album, the Mark I version of the band, Shades of Deep Purple. Lots of cool covers on this one. You've got the big hit Hush. You got Mandrake Root, and you know, the band's in his early stages, psychedelic, progressive, and Rod Evans does a great job as far as vocals. You get Nick Simper on bass, and then John Lord, of course, Ian Pace, and Richie Blackmore rounding out the pack. But I rank it at number 15. At number 14, House of Blue Light. The 12th studio album, 1987 release. One of the last, it is the last, sorry, of the reformed Mark II version. There was too much tension in the band, you know, between Blackmore and Gillan, and that, you know, it's surprising that they put out such great music at that time. But still some great stuff on here. Bad Attitude, Call of the Wild, Mitzi Dupree, cool track, but really good album. Again, right near in the middle, right where it should be. House of Blue Light. Kind of an album that not too many people talk about either, but really good. I'll go back to the Mark I version on the 13th studio album that I rank number 13. This is Book of Talisman, their second studio release of the Mark I version of the band. And to me, probably their best version in the Mark I era. You've got Lesson Learned, Read On, Kentucky Woman, Wring That Neck, against a bunch of great covers as well. The band's kind of kicking in and getting to know each other better, and really getting a groove going on. So I rank Book of Talisman at number 13. At number 12, Infinite. Fantastic album. I've been listening to this one a lot. I wish I could rank it higher, but it's some really good stuff. You got some great stuff going on, led by producer Bob Ezrin. He really turned the band around and just made them better, I feel. He got the best out of the band. You got Time for Bedlam, Hip Boots, cool track. All I Got Is You, The Surprising, On Top of the World, Birds of Prey. Then they do a great cover of Roadhouse Blues on this one. Really solid album in Infinite. That's my number 12. Now we're getting into the meat. You got Now What, the 19th studio album. Another fantastic release. This is the first one since John Lord's death. Don Airy took over. They took quite a break on this one. But you've got Simple Song. Where to Stand is a cool track. You got Hell to Pay, Above Beyond, Uncommon Man, All the Time in the World, Vincent Price, another cool track. But yeah, I rank this one at number 11. So we're getting into the top 10. I've been listening to this one a lot as well lately. This is Whoosh. This is the DVD that comes with that. I just watched again the video between Bob Ezrin and Roger Glover discussing the album, how it came about. It's available on YouTube to watch. It's really interesting how the band, they performed it live and they came up with licks and that type of thing, and then a song would build around that. It's such a great album. It's their latest release, 2020 release. As far as a studio album, except the newest one, Turning to Crime, of course, which is a compilation, a cover album. But this is their true studio album. Now there was rumors at the time because, and the Address, which appeared on Shades of Deep Purple, their very first album, started off the album. They do a great cover of And the Address, which ends this album. So there's speculations that this would be the end of the band as they came full circle. You know, they're in their late, some of them are in their mid 70s. I think Ian Pace is still in his late 60s because he's the youngest member of the band. Yeah, you got Throw My Bones, We're All the Same in the Dark, Nothing at All, cool track. The Long Way Around, Man Alive, of course the great cover of And the Address. Ian Gillan has a way of speaking lyrically when he sings. He says a lot without having to say a lot, if that makes any sense. But fantastic album at number 10, and I wanted to put this in the top 10 for sure. Not quite their greatest, but pretty damn near for sure. At number 9, Stormbringer. This would be a fantastic release. Very funky. From Glenn Hughes and David Coverdale, they brought a lot of funk to the band. But despite Ritchie Blackmore liking that direction that the band was taking, he played so well on this one. You can't do it right. Soldier of Fortune, just a couple of great tracks off of this one. But Ritchie Blackmore would unfortunately leave the band after this. And but yeah, great stuff. You got Stormbringer itself, Love Don't Mean a Thing, Holy Man, Hold On, Lady Double Dealer, cool track. You Can't Do It Right, With the One You Love, The Gypsy, Soldier of Fortune, of course, and fantastic album. Number 9, Stormbringer. At number 8, Who Do We Think We Are? And I have two versions of this one. I have a side copy, which was VCLT. Thank you so much. And but yeah, this would be the weakest of the Mark II era, but still some awesome tracks on this one. The band was exhausted from touring, basically. That's the reason that this one didn't do as well as it did. The management wanted to continue. The band wanted a break. I think if the band was allowed a break, it may be a different version of the band, but stuff happens. But you got Woman from Tokyo, Super Trooper, Rat Bat Blue, just to name a few off of this great album. Who Do We Think We Are? At number 8. At number 7, Perpendicular. This is a Steve Morse era. He came in and refreshed the band, basically. They got excited when they heard us playing. The everything started to come together. The writing got better. The playing got better. They felt that they had to bring it up a notch because he was so good. As you know, he's all over the fretboard. So the writing got intense. Ian Gillan was so impressed by him, and just gave him that energy and that boost that they needed. You got Love My Strings. Sometimes I feel like screaming. Just a couple of great tracks. That's number 7, Perpendicular. At number 6, a fantastic comeback in Perfect Strangers. This would be a reformed Mark II version of the band. Ian Gillan, Ian Pace, Roger Glover, John Lord, and Ritchie Blackmore came together after a long break and produced this fantastic album. A great comeback story on this one. But again, tensions would arise later on. And anyway, you got Knocking at Your Back Door, Mean Street, Gypsy, Kiss, Under the Gun, Nobody's Home. Just fantastic stuff. At number 6. At number 5, Come Taste the Band. This would be 1975, released their 10th studio album. Ritchie had left to form Rainbow. They went through a bunch of guitar players that they looked at, but they chose Tommy Bolin, a brilliant artist, but unfortunately a drug-ridden artist as well, which kind of ruined his career, ruined his time with Deep Purple. They would only put this one album out, but it's a remarkable album. You got I Need Love, Love Child, You Keep on Moving, This Time Around, Drifter, Coming Home, Lady Luck, Dealer, Getting Tighter. Just fantastic stuff. But even performances that on live concerts, because he was just so out of it, he couldn't keep up with. They wanted Ritchie Blackmore's style playing. He could do it. He just couldn't do it in the shape that he was in. But still, really good album. Number 5, Come Taste the Band. At number 4, and this is where it gets difficult, you've got Fireball. This is the 25th anniversary of the album. Of course, there's the original cover. Kind of an underrated album as far as the Mark II version. Everyone talks about Smoke in the Water and Burn, or Smoke of the Water and In Rock. But Fireball, the Mark II version, it's such a great album. Their 5th album. You got Strange Kind of Woman, Anyone's Daughter, No One Came, and what else is on here? Demon's Eyes, The Mule, I'm Alone, which is a B-side type of thing. This one has a lot of side tracks and instrumentals and remixes on it. But great album. So I'm ranking Fireball at number 4. At number 3, Burn. Burn would be the first version of the Mark III era, which includes Glenn Hughes and David Coverdale, both fantastic lead singers in their own right. You got Mistreated, Might Just Take Your Life. Just a couple of highlights on this one. Both vocals delivered in such a big way. Glenn Hughes is a great bassist as well. An unknown David Coverdale, but he just rocks it out. So that's number 3 in Burn. Now this next 2, or the last 2, I wish I could have a tie. Number 2, Machine Head. I got a 25th anniversary version of it as well. My favorite album of the band, even though I'm ranking In Rock higher, and I'll explain that in just a second. This is their most commercially successful album. My introduction to the band, my favorite album overall, but I still had to choose In Rock as the number one. But again, I wish I could call a tie. But you can't deny the power of In Rock. I really can't. Highway Star, Smoke on the Water, Maybe I'm a Leo, Lazy. I mean, just it's bluesy, it's rocky, it's commercial success at its best. Highway Star still played on classic rock radio forever, and just fantastic stuff. The band was at their peak. They're just rocking. Mark II version of the band. But again, you can't deny the power of In Rock. I have this one here in a remastered version of the album. Their fourth studio album, number one overall. It's a powerful album. It is the beginning of the Mark II version. They'd gone from a progressive, psychedelic band that had a good lead singer, but he just wasn't powerful enough. The band wanted to go more hard rock and heavy metal, and this album instantly turned them into a hard rock and heavy metal pioneers. It's such a great classic album. You've got heavy hitters like Speed King, just in your face right off the bat. Bloodsucker, Child in Time, the 10-minute opus Child in Time, Flight of the Rat, Into the Fire, Living Wreck, Hard Loving Man. Just again, from a nice little great psychedelic progressive band into this heavy metal hard rock in your face opus of an album. So that's my number one and my most favorite album. If you look at it in that aspect, Machine Head would always be there as well. Again, I wish I could do a tie, but anyway, I know that sounds weird that Machine Head's my favorite, but I chose as number two, but there's a reason for number one In Rock. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. Put your comments below on what you feel is your least to most favorite album. Love you all. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye.